Hello, and just a few minutes we'll be getting started with this evening's new show. Okay, now yeah, this one's sound asleep now. Okay, so thank you for tuning in. And I'd like to point out that, if you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe, bell, blah, blah, blah. Anycubic Photon, easy mode for miniatures. And for those who haven't seen it yet, the resin version of Grendel. Ready, I got this on, this right here is something I made just to hold while spraying and while painting. So, and on top of that, I also got printed out the figure of Beowulf and Roland, the first paladin. Really came out nice. Nice and sharp blades. And hello, Todd. So, I was not able to get in contact with any of my patrons today for this evening's show. So instead, we're going to do what was suggested by one of the viewers on this morning's show, or early afternoon show. I'm going to make a very simple village guard figure. And he's going to have jointed arms so that you can, you print out the figure and the arms and the head. Put the arms where you want them. Put the head how you want them. Well, actually the head might just do this. I don't think it'd be a good idea to do the full. And once we've got a few people watching, I'm going to go ahead and start in on the figure. Now, what's going to happen, this figure is going to be very, very basic. And I do mean that in every sense of the word. It's a town guard. He's not exactly going to be, hey, TJ. It's town guard. It's not going to be, freaking... Let me pull up a light from above to show the detail. Yes, he came out beautifully. The chainmail, the feathers, the beautiful spear. Yeah. What I'm actually going to do is something that will make it easier to make alternate weapons. What I'm going to do is the right hand I'm going to make the right hand originally with an empty hand, and then just I have it load in a weapon, fuse it into a single object, and just boom, 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 boom. So it would take just a few moments to make a new version. But yeah, as I mentioned this morning, I added another shelf in here. I'm getting ready to put in another shelf down here because y'all probably don't. These are Transformers. Yes, I'm an almost 50-year-old man who collects Transformers, or used to. I probably put them up. I'm thinking about it. I am seriously thinking about it. Anyway, so tonight's going to be mostly just the town guard. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and, oh, come on. Let's basic figure. Now, for the pose, not pros, pose, I'm going to go ahead and use this basic standing. I'm standing here. The mouth is going to be closed, so let's zoom in and let's click on the X rotate until it's closed. There. The next thing that we're going to do is, because this is, a guard, we're going to put a little bit of clothing on him, specifically breastplate, tunic skirt, and boot cuffs. Then we're going to tilt the, check on, yeah, we're going to tilt the chest a little side to side, bend forward a little bit. Once again, it's the very subtle, it's not entirely so. Then we're going to, let's see, the hip side to side is 9.6, that's 9.6. 12 minus 9.6, it's about 2.4. So about 4 to side would make that straight up. And there. Now we're also going to bend it backwards a bit, and then bend the head down. And I just realized I'm going to need to do something else. We're going to hide this guy and all his parts. We're going to load in a second main male figure. And we're going to open here, because what I need to do is a typical guard helmet. No, cancel, import, 3D printing, meshes, resculpt minis, jointed base mini 3, import, and object color, show flipping gray, reselected. There we go. Now, what I'm going to do is very simple. I'm going to make a sphere. It's about that big. I'm going to bring it up top side. Make it X as 0, so it's right centered on him. And we need to go up a little bit higher. And then we're going to reduce the segments to about 12, I think would be what I need. $16 is what I need. Global poly. Then we're going to select here, delete. Select here, and we're going to shrink it just a bit. Now we're going to shrink it vertically because it needs to rest on top of the head more than anything else. Because what this is going to be, this is going to be a kettle helm, which is kind of a classic city guard type helm. Actually, that's a bit too much because I just forgot one of the aspects that I'm going to be doing here. Alright. Take it from here and making it bigger. And then I'm going to double check on it, how it looks. Okay. We're now going to rotate it. About there. Yes, I know it looks more like a World War I hat, but yes, there were fantasy helmet. But yes, there were fantasy helmets that did look like this. And then we're going to take this last peak here, and we're going to move it parent axis so that it'll go straight up. Okay, now that we have our helmet, which it's one-dimensional right now. It has 0 thickness, so we got to make it thick. So we do that. We go to shell. Now we're going to change the shell inner to 0, and we're going to make outer to 0. We're going to make the inner 0.8 millimeters. What that'll let us do is, number 1, it'll fuse in with the head. Number 2, we'll make sure that that rim does not. Then we're going to select here and here. Loop. Now let me lower it down. Just to show you what it looks like without any of these protective edges, we're going to smooth 1. Now, we've got these edges selected. We're going to chamfer them at 0.001 with 2 tiers. And now, it's protected. Mesh smooth. The difference between smooth and mesh smooth. Smooth just shades it. Mesh smooth actually subdivides the polygons. We need to bring this forward. We also need to go ahead, we're going to pull up an FD 2x2. FFD is freeform deform. Grab here and move it out a little bit so that it's not intersecting with the head too much on the outside. Okay, and then because we have to really, we're going to make it this way. And actually, before it gets to any of that, I'm going to select these, loop, and we're going to make it more circular on the rim. Okay, now collapse all. And that is our... Alright. In order to keep the proportionate loop 80%. There we go. Now we're going to select those, loop, and we're going to pull these up to about there. Okay, now collapse all. I said, don't you do that. Collapse all. Thank you. File, export selected, and we're going to go to home, meshes, resculpt minis, props, OBJ, kettle, helm, export, done. Okay. Yes, I am, Todd. The whine, high-pitched noise background is because of my computer. And despite what people are saying on various websites, I can't get it to not do that. As in, It's not letting me turn on noise reduction. Yeah, it gets annoying at times, quite annoying. Now, the reason why we had to load in a second version of him for the kettle helm is because we got to save this as a smart prop. So grab the kettle helm, drop it on the head, and then File, Save as, Support Asset, Figure and Prop Assets. Click. And this is going to be saved under Clothing. Helmet 09. Because I now have 9 helmet types. Product name, Miniatures. Accept. Now I click on him. Delete. Click on him. Make him visible again. Now because I'm also going to have an option for the head, and there's going to be 2 different options for the head. Okay. I select him. Studio formats, my library, people, miniatures-based TO, props, no, clothing. Helmet 9. Helmet 9 will be hidden for right now. The other option will be, let's go with a basic barbute, which is another classic guard helm, although it's usually for a bit heavier guardsmen. Now, all I'm going to do here is I'm going to bend him down slightly, bend it forward slightly. And twist the wrist. And I'm going to take both of these. Symmetry, right to left, accept. Now, the next thing is, just for the purposes of having the hands in the right place, I'm going to load in an arming sword. Just a basic sword. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the hands on this hand and I'm going to bend them slightly. Oh, no. Bend them slightly. Just to have a moderate hand. Now, that's all we really need for what we're getting ready to do. Although probably another good idea would be to import a base. Import. It's on props. No, let's go to bases. Base flat. Front view. And down. Alright. Lower it slightly. Let's make it just a little bit of left view. Just to make it a little bit easier, a little bit more typical, we're going to hide the base, hit Control D to drop them. Now, from the left view, okay, this needs to come down, which means from the front view, yeah, need to kind of bring it that way. Gonna bend it forward a little until it's about right. We're gonna side to side it. Okay, and we're going to bend this one forward to undo some of the... And then we're going to side to side to... Okay. And then we make the base flat visible. I'm going to zoom in and make sure that it's ever so slightly overlapping those feet. Because one of the things is, this particular version will also end up being arranged, yeah, making sure it's, you can see the yellow overlay, you can see how it's poking through flat, and here. Now let's go to the right view, and we need to move it forward. The base will not be part of the figure, because one of the things we're doing is we're going to be turning it into a sprue. Okay, so first things first, we're going to hide the base, the boot cuffs, tunic skirt, and the sword. And then we're going to load in, let's just load in helmet 6. Now, kettle helm. Now let's do it without the helms. Same way we're doing it without the swords. Alright, this is our basic shape. Basic body. File, export to broadcast miniatures, new. Sprue soldier body. Save. Accept. Then we're going to hide him and his breastplate and make the skirt visible. File, export. Sprue soldier kilt. And then make the boot cuffs visible. Export. Sprue soldier boot cuffs. Accept. Now we're going to hide it, and we're going to load in the 2 different helms. File. Export. Sprue soldier kettle. Accept. File. Export. Sprue soldier barbute. Accept. And then let's not use this sword as our default sword. Let's go ahead. He can stay invisible for what we're about to do. Alright. So what we need to do is let's go ahead and use Arming Sword 2 as the primary. Okay. File. Export. Sprue soldier sword. Accept. And then let's give him a halberd. Yeah, here we go. File, export. Sprue soldier halberd. Actually, hold on. Right view. Export Sprue soldier halberd. Yes. Delete. And then just one more right-hand weapon. And that's going to be, let's make it the mace. A regular mace. There we go. Classical mace. File. Export. Sprue soldier mace. Now, those are going to be much later. And one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and save this file. Because if I ever decide later that I want to put on additional weapons, or if I want to give him an option for a shield, I can go back in, load this particular file up. So I'm going to style save as scene, Sprue Soldier. I can load it up, delete that, and put in a war scythe in his hand. Selecting the body, war scythe. Or selecting the body again, Viking sword. Yeah. Put little fur shapings on his boots. And the dragon on his pauldron. Yeah, it came out excellent. It's with clear resin. If you hold a light above or to the side at about a 45, about a 7 on his rope belt. Anyway. So now we have ZBrush. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to import broadcast miniatures. Sprue Soldier body.
I pulled up some videos for you.
No! Cortana, shut down. What the heck? Hold on just a second. Off. I think I did. Let's get back. Okay. So now we go to Subtool. We go to Append, Polymesh 3D, Import, Sprue Soldier Kilt, Append, Polymesh 3D, Import, Sprue Soldier Boot Cuffs. Everything else is for much later. Okay, one of the first things we're going to do is on the kilt. We're going to go ahead and we're going to subdivide it a few times until the active points are about there. Then, using the movement brush, also let's turn on that. We're going to grab and move in here. Okay. Now we're going back to Sprue Soldier and we're going to subdivide him until he's there. Delete lower, and we're going to Dynamesh 768. Bing. And now we're going to smooth over the chest plate. As Shinju goes off to munch, we're going to grab here and kind of pull it in, and then shrink this a little, and once again smooth out